What's up, everyone? So right here we got the Jeep. So I found out that the engine is waterlogged, but pretty much I'm using it as a parts Jeep. Now I already took some of the clamps off of the radiator hoses, and I took the radiator cap off for my dad's Durango out there. But I'm just gonna start taking parts off if needed. I'm gonna get another one of these someday, but for now it's just gonna sit here. I also have it for sale for $3,000 if anyone wants to buy it, but it's pretty clean in here still. The interior is great, but pretty much I gotta clean out the back and everything like that. But I am working on selling this thing and parting it out. But over here I just bought this thing for $500 over the weekend, and pretty much it needs brakes. It has no brakes whatsoever. That caliper over on the right side is seized, and actually I'll show you guys real quick. There is no brake pads left anymore. It's really just the caliper. I guess you can't really see, but the caliper has turned into the brake pad. I don't know how the previous owner let it get this bad. And also there is a rear end. It got rear-ended, but that's not too big of an issue. I have a set of tires in the back, and then that spare is from the Jeep. I'm gonna put that back in the Jeep when I get it to it. But pretty much it has a 3.7 liter 5-cylinder in it. But the interior is pretty clean. Has an aftermarket stereo that it came with, which the Pioneer stereo is one of my favorites. I had one of those in my old truck that I only owned for a few weeks, but it was my dad's very first truck he ever owned. I never really counted it as me owning it. I just drove it for a while, and then I sold it for a motorcycle, and then I sold that for a Durango for my dad. So this right here is pretty much my first truck. Just last night I installed some subwoofers. They're 215s, 5,000 watts each, and then that's a 7,000 watt sub. I need to get some thicker wire that goes to the sub, because that'll start melting once I put more power through the amp. Like right now the amp for the input level is turned down to almost none, which is actually perfectly fine for me. I'll show you guys what it sounds like in a second. And then let me show you what I got on the other side. So this chrome right here, it's all right. I like the chrome, but my last truck, well, the truck that I drove for my dad for a little bit, was all blacked out in the front. So I'm pretty much going with that same style. So I'm just gonna spray paint the chrome. And then also I got this cool little like purple, like sparkly purple paint that I'm gonna paint the emblems with. Got a bunch of little cheap paint brushes, and then I got these speakers for free. And when I'm gonna order another amp, a 4-channel amp, and I'm gonna throw these speakers right here, and then I'm gonna be redoing all the door speakers and hooking those up to the amp as well. There is door speakers back here, but all the doors work and everything. There's no issues besides the brakes. There's a little bit of rust on the bed. The rocker panels aren't too bad. Here, let me pop the hood real quick. So this right here is the engine bay. The cover for the intake is gone. Kind of like a cold air intake to match the Jeep, but it's whatever. This battery actually came out of the Jeep. I had to take the battery mount out of this because it was too big. But this is a massive battery for this vehicle. So this will last a while. I got the cord for the amp, and I actually had to drill a hole into the firewall to then, the wires are right there. I got to zip tie them up there, but then they go into this thing and then runs along down there, and then they come up and go out right there and go into all that stuff. And then ground is over there. But this subs came out of the Jeep, and they are actually way more effective in this car. Probably because the stereo, because the Jeep is just some cheap aftermarket stereo. I just bought it because it had a screen and it looked cool. But this truck is gonna be more of my functional work truck and get me around places. But pretty much with my brake issue right now is that so the brake issue, I just throw it into first gear, slows it down enough, and then throw it into reverse, and that stops it pretty much. But I just washed it over the weekend. I was driving it around and got it pretty muddy down some trails just to test it out. And this thing is quite a vehicle to drive around on the trails. But I have a lot planned for it and everything. This is first video on this truck. Got this truck, I want to say it's Saturday. It's now Thursday. Tomorrow I'm going to get plates and registration for it. But yeah, I love this truck. It's a nice little truck. I'll probably put a little bit of a cinematic inside the video as well, because why not? I moved the vanity plate over to the truck. I like it in this truck way better than the Jeep, and getting rid of the Jeep eventually, so I might as well just move all my decorations over. But here, let me start up the truck real quickly and show you guys. There's a chicken. And this thing only takes like 40 bucks to fill up, which I love. We got 4-wheel drive, 4-low, everything like that. Here, let me turn this off, the volume down anyways, so it doesn't start blaring. But yeah, she starts up right away, no issues. That's how she starts every time. But pretty much the 200,000 miles, caliper, square, and brake fluid, so it's just low on brake fluid. Needs an oil change, that's not too bad. Needs a new oil pressure sensor as well. The center console and everything. I don't mind it actually. It's not bad. We got lots of room in here for everything I need. So, 2 seats, kind of because I took out the rear seats with the subs. But when I have the subs playing, this mirror likes to go all over the place. So I'm gonna cut to that part now with the subs.